Hello, good evening. I'm Frankie Chan. Welcome to the show. Bandar Seri Begawan is the capital city of Brunei's future expansion has been a hot topic recently. And since the appointment of HOK Asia Pacific Limited in early September of 2009 by His Majesty's government as the principal consultant to work out a master plan. This is a very interesting master plan that will transform our city into a 21st century capital city, which have characteristics to be called the smart city. Now, this $7 million project has drawn attention from all levels of society. Well, the public's interested because it has an impact on their lives. Government is interested because it's their initiative. Private sector business community interested because it might bring about a little of a private-public partnership synergy. Hence, it's the much-needed business opportunities. And with the submission date of the master plan drawing closer and closer, all eyes are now on the consulting group, where I have a heavy task, as well as the people who are directly involved in it. And the plan is expected to reach its conclusion by August of 2010. And the implementation of the actual work is set to be complete by 2035, which will make Bandar Seri Begawan 10 times bigger than its actual size. Now tonight, we have two very special gentlemen. It's an honor to have with us this evening to hold different views on this master plan. On my right is Mr. Ignatius Stephen. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
How are you doing this evening?
Oh, fantastic, really.
Now, I understand you're a well-respected senior journalist, director for business and editorial for Blue Direct. And I understand you also own a 24-hour cafe in town. So how's business so far?
Business is good. I do hope the master plan won't make it any worse.
We'll find out later tonight, okay? And on my left is Mr. Stephen Townsend, who is the project director of the Bandar Seri Begawan Master Plan from HOK Asia Pacific Limited. Thanks for joining us this evening, sir.
Thank you, Frankie.
Now, tell us a little bit about HOK.
HOK is a global practice. It has over 2,500 people in it, 24 locations around the world. I'm the regional director in charge of Asia Pacific. So my world extends from Shanghai, Beijing, all the way down to, well, actually Singapore and right here in Brunei. We actually have a practice studio right in the city.
All right. Now, tonight we will together discuss the Bandar Seri Begawan Master Plan, its future outlook and its impact on its people, the daily lives of the people living in this particular city. Now, Stephen Townsend is familiar with the plan from the development perspective, and because his company is appointed by His Majesty's government as the main consultation firm. And he himself is one of the researchers and who are working on this project, thus mapping out the master plan. Ignatius, however, is familiar with this project as he has been following the developments of it as a media personnel ever since it was staged. Now, before we start off the views and from you gentlemen, we are going to take a short video clip and have a look at the initial signing ceremony that took place and a little information on the master plan. So let's take a look at this video.
An agreement was inked between His Majesty's government and the Asia Pacific HOK International Limited for the provision of a master plan for the development of Bandar Seri Begawan. Present to witness the signing was the Minister of Home Affairs Yang Berhormat Pilihan Orang Kaya Johan Pahlawan Datuk Seri Setia Awang Haji Adenan. Representing the government of His Majesty the Sultan and Yang di-Pertuan of Brunei Darussalam was the chairman of the Bandar Seri Begawan Municipal Board, Pangeran Haji Muhammad Ali, and the deputy chairman Awang Muhammad Ramli. HOK International Limited, meanwhile, was represented by its Vice President and the Regional Director, Awan Stephen Morris Townsend. The master plan is an overall plan that includes strong and clear strategies that act as a guideline or reference for development of BSB by the year 2035. The plan has 10 strategic objectives, and among them is to raise the status of BSB as a city, center of government and administration, as well as a beautiful and interesting tourist destination. Located in the Brunei Muara district, BSB plays an important role as a center of administration, business, communication, culture and religion in the country. It covers 12 mukims, including Mukim Kianggeh, Gadong B, Tamoy, Sungai Kebun and parts of Mukim Kota Batu. The project for the preparation of the master plan has begun this month, and it will take 9 months to complete at the cost of $7.3 million, and now focus on the planning and implementation works on the preparation of the master plan.
Well, that was the signing ceremony as well as a little info on the master plan, the Bandar Seri Begawan Development Master Plan. Now, Stephen, your company is the principal consultant appointed by His Majesty's government. The question now is how well you know the early history, and the golden question is how did it ended up in your hands?
Well, what happened is in 2006, they did a new national land use plan. And then in 2007, as part of that new planning process, they redrew the boundary around BSB's central core area, the main focus area of the city, the area of critical influence, if you want to call it. So that's what inspired them to go out and get a new international tendering process. We participated in the tendering process and came in with a competitive offer, not just financially, but also with what we thought the right thing to do would be. And so that's how we really came out with the project.
Ignatius, what do you think? Do you think we need a major facelift of this scale?
Well, facelift is a vague term. What we need is a place where people really can live and be happy about it.
Yeah.
I think that's the main factor. I think we are putting too much of emphasis on appearance. Not enough emphasis, I think, on usability, people-friendly focus.
Yeah.
I think we should do that.
Functionality.
We are not functionality.
Yeah.
We are talking about size, 10 times bigger. What does it mean?
I should clarify that too. Actually, in our projections over the 25 years, we actually believe it might only triple in size. But even if it does, that's quite a phenomenal number, and the impacts of that, but also the opportunities of that, are something we really are focusing on right now for the country.
So it's not 10 times bigger; it's 3 times triple.
It's more realistically maybe triple in size in terms of population, especially in the city itself. So, but again, we're really focusing on the opportunities of that: direct foreign investment opportunities, a better CBD. Better commercial services at Gadang Kulap, the Government Administrative Center becoming more of a stately seat of government and a symbol for the country, better uses at the airport and an airport city and airport hub development. A lot of opportunities coming. So, but we have to be careful how we place them, and you're absolutely right. It can't be just aesthetically driven. It must be functional, it must be green, and it must be sustainable in the long term.
And livable in a sense.
My question is, do we need $7 million for somebody else from somewhere else to come and tell us?
Well,
I think my 12-year-old boy can do that to me.
We're spending.
Give him seven sweets or something, 7 pieces of sweets, and he'll tell you that.
Well, question.
Yeah. The study is much different than what I think you've seen before. I mean, and I've seen this in all my worldwide practice in the 30 years I've been doing this. We've often seen governments produce master plans and shove them on the shelves, and then we spend another $1 million next year and do another one, or 5 years from now.
Exactly.
They're always defunct before they even get the printing done.
We are masters of master plans.
That's
Implemented.
well, we're masters at doing them, but we don't. My team, with all the built project experience we've had, even commercially and with government projects, our interest is not doing that kind of work. The reason why we're probably spending a little bit more money on this one is the in-depth nature of the study itself. Not only are we producing a plan that we are going to, of course, make a document out of, but we're actually providing the government with a means of executing the plan. We're coming up with a GIS, a global geographical information system for them to use and help manage the process. We're going to be around to do design review and to help guide the implementation. So this is very much an implementation-driven plan. So I hope that you're going to find it to be very different than what they've seen before.
So let's talk about the master plan right now. I understand your company has to submit this this year, end of August, as you said. At this stage, where are we now?
We're about, we've gone through a very lengthy analysis stage and documentation of all the existing conditions and the existing titling documents, geographical information, a whole host of things that come into creating a better database for the city. And now we're using that to springboard a whole design process. And we're looking at all kinds of scenarios that ultimately feed into the opening up or diversification of the country's economy. Because we know that petroleum will not be sustainable as a single economic driver here in the country. So what else can we do? We can do downstream petrochemical engineering. We have a wonderful rainforest that sits all around us. Aren't we lucky that we can now do bioengineering or biotechnology or new medicine, and, all kinds of things. But we need to find homes for these people to come. That's really critical. And that's really our role. So you could see this as an investment in the country's future.
I understand that you will make Bandar Seri Begawan feel like a smart city or maybe like a green city. So enlighten us more about the green city.
Well, we're going to be, the green city, one of the things that came out of the original, early planning, and we did 3 scenarios. One focused on the river, one focused on just densifying the urban core areas that are already here. One also did the status quo, where you just spread everything out as it's being developed, sort of the status quo approach to future development. And everybody agreed that we should start focusing on the river. The Brunei River, of course, but also the Kadian River as it goes through the heart of the city. And one of the things that came out of that, and part of the green part, is getting people to come back and live closer to the river. And we're talking about not single-family homes anymore, but living in apartment complexes or taller buildings, perhaps, but a diversity of lifestyles that come back to the river that we can connect better.
What worries me is that, all right, you are building a very nice city. How would you make people live there? How would you attract? How do you use it? So you can build an empty shell and nobody is there.
Right.
It has happened before. Many people have built cities, but nobody wants to live there. I think even in England.
And we're really suspect that some of the things we're building today are shells that maybe they feel forced to live in as well, and maybe they don't want to live so far out and away from all the services that are found within the central city area. Again, it comes to choice. And I'm glad you said, how are we going to make people live there? First of all, by not making them live there. We're going to give people so many attractive choices that it's our hope that they actually really prefer to live in an environment where they may be able to take rail transit to work and to goods and services, or to the airport, or we can take boat transport up and down the Kadian River to connect all these places together.
But that is
parks to run in.
Yeah. Sorry, Steve. I may appear to be.
We're both excited about this.
Of course, yeah. Every city in the world, almost every city in the world, is trying to get the people away from the city center. You are trying to get them in. I mean, what's the logic in it?
Well,
tell me.
That's a trick.
I think Brunei should take the leap forward and be the leaders in sustainable eco-city design. Let's bring everybody back into communities that we don't have to drive our cars everywhere, every day, every hour of the day.
So we'll make it a change. We're going to come back. We have more. There's a lot of things that we have to share. 2 gentlemen with different views, and this is going to be a heated argument, but it is awful good. Let's find out after this break. Don't go away. Stay tuned to the program. Welcome back to the show. This is a program where we talk about the Bandar Seri Begawan Development Master Plan. I understand, Stephen, correct me if I'm wrong. The Master Plan hopes to achieve 10 strategic objectives. Create the framework for future diversification of country's economy, you said. Number one. Number 2, Bandar Seri Begawan is a governing and admin centre. Make it more like a stately image, as you mentioned earlier. Strengthen the image of the capital as a safe, green city. Why? We'll talk about that later. Friendly and livable. I understand you say we are in number 100th in the list.
We are ranking right now 100 in the list of I think 100 livable cities, the top 100 livable cities. I think that number should be vastly improved, and we can do it by providing, I think, things that are not here. Transportation, better transportation.
Ignatius is looking at you
Yeah.
with a little question. query.
You know this list, right?
Well, I'm always suspicious of saying that, we are number 10, number 12. And
Yeah.
in what terms?
Well,
Very arbitrary.
it is.
I mean, it's difficult to measure the livability in actual terms. Yeah, but having said that, I could agree that it's a very pleasant little city to live in.
Yeah.
I mean, we have our little drawbacks and here and there, but I think master plan. We are glad that that we have at last thinking of moving towards something which is
It's one of the warmest, most welcoming environments I've ever been in Asia, in my 12 years of living in
thank you
Asia.
very much. Come and come and live with us.
And so, if we can make it green and give people choice, and when I come here, if I can stay in a hotel that actually feels like I'm staying in a resort, even though I'm here on business. If I can, when I arrive at the airport, I don't want to look into a parking structure. I want to look at a forest of green and perhaps maybe it'd be great if we could get a transit station there where I can jump on a train and go downtown.
Yeah, while you're doing that, I mean, are you not also faced with vested interests, as you, some big shot or somebody may own certain areas and he doesn't want to let go. So would you recommend drastic laws, measures where people don't sit on their land and blocking
Is there an ultimatum for that?
so-called progress? I mean,
Well, it'd be great if we didn't have to do that. I mean, laws are required sometimes when we need laws. I just hope that we can show everyone here so much opportunity that they'll be inspired to make changes if we need them to make changes. And if we don't, then let's bring them better services and amenities so that where they do live and how they do live is just enhanced or improved. I mean, one of the things that's very important in a philosophy of this master planning is that we're not importing a lot of foreign idealism into this community. That would be a very bad thing to do. But what we want to do is be sensitive to the way people live, the MIB, the Malay culture, etc. That's very critical, and we want to build upon that and enhance it with what we've learned from overseas and from our past work. Enhance, not redirect. That's important.
Now, Stephen, HOK's planning group SVP Robert Marshall once said in the later part of 2009, we want a city in a garden, not a garden city. And there is a major distinction here. What do you think the distinction here?
Well, first of all, I have to. Robert and I both have been making that quote, but that quote comes from the strategic objectives of the municipal board. So there again, this was determined before we even came on board. This objective, and so what we are actually doing when we repeat it, we're building upon that. Now, what's the difference? We have a unique setting here where the city of Bandar is completely surrounded by green environment, and a lot of it is very, very natural. It's been unfettered by human interaction, and building upon that, if we can let that come through the city, shade our streets, bring cool air into our environment, using the river, just creating an overall ambience that is much more livable. And the tools are right here. We don't have to spend a lot of money. We can bring trees in and do this.
The expansion will also come